I'm gonna have to wait. Yeah, I got a lot of figures.
Yeah, the spoilers are in full force.
Whoa.
Dude, you know...
Hey.
Yeah.
I think we're live.
Oh, God.
I think we are live. Let me see something. Let me mute this. Here we go.
Oh, God.
I think we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the G-Show's Godzilla Block Party Godzilla Day live stream, where we are celebrating the King of the Monsters' 68th birthday. On top of that, it's Gigan's 50th anniversary. On top of that, we got some Godzilla vs. Godzilla Rex animated goodness. Some Godzilla vs. Gigan live action 50th anniversary mashup thing that was also fantastic. But the news of the day, nay, the news of the week, is Toho is giving us a brand new live action Godzilla movie. And it is scheduled to come out exactly 1 year from today on Godzilla's 69th birthday. I can't wait. We're here to talk about it. We're here live streaming. We're here to just have a crazy ass time. Joining me, as always, is my right hand when it comes to Godzilla on the G Show, Brother Chase, a.k.a. Megzy, a.k.a. G73. How the hell you doing?
Oh, man, I'm excited. Godzilla's birthday, woke up feeling great. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. I'm super excited. Not only that, we're going to talk about that, but I'm stoked for God of War Ragnarok, man.
We're not talking about God of War Ragnarok. Get that shit out of here.
No, man.
That's for next
part
week.
Of how awesome Godzilla's birthday today is.
Also,
man, I'm so excited for... this Godzilla's birthday has been one of the best ones we've had probably in a long time.
Yes,
indeed. Very long time.
Yes, indeed. Also joining us is JR. Brother, you've been going crazy. You've been live streaming pretty much all day today. You're already feeling the effects of being a little woozy. I wish I was where you're at. I'm going to get there real soon, but how the hell are you?
Dude, I'm good. I'm seeing all of you guys right now in 3D because I got these nice 3D glasses on for no fucking reason. Got done streaming Godzilla Save the Earth on my Twitch channel. It's now my YouTube channel at JR's GAN. Check it out. I had fun for about 2 hours, and then you messaged me. Literally, you texted me right when I was gonna stop live streaming. So it was like fucking perfect.
Well, we are live, we are streaming, and we are celebrating. It's Godzilla's 68th birthday, ladies and gentlemen, and we gotta just start with the biggest news of the day. The biggest news of the day that dropped last night. Well, yesterday for us, but the 3rd in Japan, was Toho announcing that next year we're getting a brand new live-action Godzilla movie. Are you insane? That has nothing to do with the MonsterVerse. That has nothing to do with Shin Godzilla, which is going to be some brand new IP. And I honestly think this is the beginning, the opening salvo of the Godzillaverse. I'm excited. I went ballistic when I saw this shit yesterday. Brother Chase, I gotta start with you. I mean, come on. We were going nuts yesterday. What do you think of this news, and how does it affect the Godzilla universe?
Gosh, I'm still shell-shocked at the fact that they announced something because, we've gone through years. I don't remember the last time they really announced... they did Singular Point close to his birthday, but it wasn't on his birthday. So seeing them actually take an event and start to actually be like, oh yeah, we got some things planned for a content announcement for his birthday, that was exciting to finally see because, I look forward to we all look forward to Godzilla's birthday every year, but when they only show merchandise and people running around in suits giving kids autographs, it just kind of is like, all right, there's no point in being excited really for this. We're happy for Godzilla. He's around for another year, but we want content. Tell us. This is why people are tuning into your live stream and going to your event, is to figure out what's going on with Godzilla, what's new. And when they announced, when you brought it up, that they just announced a new Godzilla movie, it was like, what? I was like, serious? I wasn't expecting that so soon, because that was right in the beginning of the event starting. And I was expecting that to be like the last thing they announced, because I stayed up till it ended, and there was nothing at the end of the event, just them saying goodbye. And that was disappointing. But now that we have a new Godzilla movie that's coming out in a year, I'm like, wow, not only do we get Godzilla from Toho next year, then we get MonsterVerse Godzilla the year after. And I'm just like, I got a lot to look forward to, and I'm really stoked and excited about it. But I am super curious to why this Godzilla logo looks exactly like the Aliens logo.
Hey man, listen, let's not even talk about that. What you see on the screen right now, ladies and gentlemen, I should have started that off at the top of the show, is the logo they produced yesterday. They showed us yesterday, announcing the new Godzilla movie. And I mean, think about it, man. The Shin Godzilla logo, when we first saw that, was the footprint. There was a trilobite in it. We were all super excited and speculated till our freaking heart's content. And here we go again. Brand new logo for brand new Godzilla movie. Look, it says it right there. 2023, November 3rd. Ooh, JR! What do you think? And wait, how excited are you? And what do you think about this news?
I've got some cautiously off the net.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. Shin Godzilla was ass, and the anime trilogy was ass. Singular Point was good. I don't know. Like, I want to get really excited, because it's like, hey, maybe they are gonna do something cinematic universe-y with Godzilla and all their properties. They don't gotta license shit out to Legendary anymore because it's Toho doing it. That'd be pretty cool. But then I remember Shin Godzilla and the anime trilogy, and I get fucking nervous again. But it is cool, and I hope it does come to theaters here in the States. I really do.
We'll go back on that, because I read some shit.
Oh, really?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Can I just add, for 68, Godzilla looks wonderful.
He looks like he's getting older with age.
Yeah.
Younger but more powerful.
Listen, I mean, I cannot lie. I am extremely stoked for this. Extremely stoked. It really felt like Comic-Con, right? A Hall H presentation at Comic-Con. The only difference is they weren't wasting no time. They came out of the gate, and within 10 minutes, they were like, oh yeah, by the way, bam! Brand new Godzilla coming at you next year. I was like, whoa. So there was a video, it was like a 2-minute video, where a Godzilla channel that I follow that's from Japan, right? I like this guy. He does a lot of, not quirky things with Godzilla, but like, he has a Godzilla mask on all the time. He has these awesome Godzilla collectibles. This is why I found him, and I watched this dude kind of religiously. He did I'm pretty sure it was him, but he did like a 2-minute video trying to encapsulate all of the big news, and he subtitled it. For us, non-Japanese speaking fans, I was extremely happy when I saw this. And when they were doing that, the announcement, the person there, the ambassador there doing, hosting the festivities, the MC, he straight up said it in it. He said, no, this isn't Godzilla versus Kong 2. And this is a brand new thing. He did not say it was a sequel to Shin Godzilla. This is something else completely different. The director, and I don't know off the top of my head, I'm gonna have to look it up, But he did the movie. He did the first.
Always Sunset on
There you go.
23rd Street.
I don't know if it's 23rd, but yeah, definitely Always Something, Always Sunset. But he was the first person to do a CGI Godzilla in Japan in a fucking 2-minute clip. 3-minute clip from that movie where the main protagonist of the movie was having a dream, and in the dream it was Godzilla attacking Tokyo in 1954, and it was a beautiful model for the time for Japan because they weren't really doing anything like that, and it had whiteout eyes, kind of like GMK Goji. It was a beautiful look. It was gorgeous. I loved it. I loved it. And that was, 15 years ago? Maybe a little more? And that's the dude who is going to be directing the movie. Also, from that video...
His name is Takashi Yamazaki.
Takashi Yamazaki. Thank you, Brother Chase. Also, what I love is that apparently he is the #1 special effects guy in Japan. He has his own special effects company. This is huge. So the dude loves Godzilla, right? And now they're giving him the reins to make a brand new Godzilla film. Now, like JR alluded to, that kind of happened already with the last live-action Godzilla film from Japan with Shin Godzilla. They loved Godzilla. Anno loved Godzilla, These people love Godzilla, and it just didn't work for some of us. A lot of us. Let's not even front. The movie Shin Godzilla does have a lot of people who praise it, and justifiably so. And it also has a lot of people who hate it, justifiably so. It was such a different take. We have no idea what this is going to be. Okay? All we know is it is not connected to the Monsterverse, and it's seemingly not connected to Shin Godzilla. This is kind of reminiscent of the Millennium movies, where this is one movie, this is another movie in a different, dimension, this is a completely different movie in another dimension, and then here's Final Wars. I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. But if this is the jump off of Toho's Godzillaverse, then we are in for an unbelievable and extraordinary treat. And I hope they set this in the past. I hope this is like a remake of 1954 in 1954. Set in 1954. I would go nuts. I'd go nuts.
So, with that being said, I was doing some reading, and CNCB, that news station or whatever it is, they did an article about it and got a little bit more of an in-depth detail to the film.
Right.
And it's not super in-depth. It's just kind of why Toho is doing the film, and it's strictly because of the United States. They said the popularity with Godzilla growing through Hollywood has encouraged us to continue doing another live-action Godzilla movie. And we are doing this film because of his popularity growing. And that's from Toho. Now, reading online and all the fans, someone brought up the attention that, now this is just taken with a grain of salt because they're not an official person, but it's being repeated quite a bit. This film is they're talking about how this film may take place before post-war Japan.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's kind of the rumor right now, is it takes place before all of that. So that's going to be very interesting to see. But again, who knows? But yeah, that's kind of some of the details that have been a little bit talked about. But what's great about this and them announcing when it's coming out and us knowing with I mean, when Shin Godzilla was announced, it felt like we waited years to see stuff. And I feel like with this, we'll probably be seeing stuff around July or maybe even May, maybe.
Yeah.
So not too much longer, but at least we kind of have like an expectation with Shin Godzilla of what to expect. I mean, God, you remember those days, Ray, when we were doing Shin Godzilla stuff? It was like, when are they going to show something? When are they going to show something? Goddamn, this movie's not coming out. Oh. And now it's like, at least we have kind of like a template to follow.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. JR, do you remember those good old days where we were just like salivating over anything Shin Godzilla? Like, could we see something, please?
It was insane back then, and it got to a point like literally where the movie was announced, I completely forgot about it because it was like you hadn't shown anything. At least this time, it's like, hey, it's out next year. You're not gonna have to wait that fucking long for it. I like that. I like how they're doing that. But this also has me just a little worried. Little.
Yeah, give me reasons.
I was just thinking about this. Godzilla fatigue.
Could there be?
Because we got we have season 2 Singular Point.
No, we don't. That was not announced.
Yeah,
that was not announced.
That's right. That's ridiculous.
And I was going to bring that up, not to change the whole dynamic you're going with, but I was going to bring that up. I was shocked they didn't announce anything.
We're gonna get into that in another block, but keep that in your head.
Yeah.
Go ahead, JR.
But yeah, no, like we've got another Godzilla versus Kong, whatever the hell that movie's supposed to be, and then we have a Toho Godzilla movie, and I'm a little worried now because it's like every year from this point forward, we're gonna have a Godzilla movie possibly coming out. Like, if you really think about that shit, and it's gonna turn into the Marvel situation where there was a shit ton of good movies and a shit ton of bad movies, and now, like, at least, like, severely for me, the Marvel fatigue is like, oh my god, we're on another one.
Listen,
I think the difference with that, though, is you have Toho and then you have Hollywood. So you're going to get two vastly different things. You're getting two different types of desserts. You know, it's going to be the same sugar, but different taste, different things to expect, which to me, I feel like, because I was thinking about that too with like, because we saw that image a couple years ago or a year ago where it was like 7 movie plots that they had blanked out. And and I mean, I'm fine with that.
But what, Marvel or Toho? Marvel or Toho?
Toho. The Godzilla stuff.
Oh, I don't remember that.
You don't remember that image they posted of the future of the Godzilla movies, and they had 7 spots blanked out?
I swear to God,
that was like a year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like end of 2019, early 2020 is when that was posted.
They said another 10 years of Godzilla.
So in that regard, I don't remember that because there's nothing that has come from that since. So that was just out of sight, out of mind. Not like Marvel, where they're like, okay, look, this is this is that, this is that.
Well, they left it off with King of the Monsters on that poster, and then they had other blank spots. So I mean, who knows what that entails? But,
that was probably them teasing the MonsterVerse. that was them trying to get a leg up on Legendary, like. Oh, Warner Brothers and Legendary are having some type of falling out. We'll come back. We'll take it over.
They had it was Godzilla's history in film forms. It started with the film, and then it ended with Shin Godzilla. King of the Monsters, and then it had blank spots for other continuations. I mean, whatever that means, but because I mean, you got it even had the anime movies on it.
Okay,
no, it didn't have the anime. It did not have the anime movies.
Okay, because I remember seeing something with the anime stuff, and I was just like, it wasn't what you're alluding to. It was something completely different. But Look, I want to go to JR's point to the Godzilla fatigue thing, seeing a Godzilla movie every year. I don't
and
think
the TV show.
And listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because here's how they could possibly do it, okay? One, Toho starts dropping yearly movies again. That's nothing new from Toho. The entire show series were yearly events. Every year there was another movie that dropped. Every year there's a new one. There's a new one. There might have been a hiatus between what? Destroy All Monsters and the Smog Monster, but from that point on it was the Smog Monster, Gigan, Megalon, Mega Godzilla, Terror of Mecha Godzilla, and then there was the 10-year gap. You know what I mean? So there's precedent for that. We've seen that before. Hell, then you had the Heisei series, Biollante, King Ghidorah, Mothra, Mecha Godzilla, Space Godzilla Destroyer, back to back to back to back every year. It was a precedent for that. Then the Millennium movies, same shit. 2000, Mega, like they were back to back to back. There's precedent to who does that. Or they can do what video games does nowadays, and like the Call of Duty franchise. Toho makes a movie one year, Legendary puts theirs out the next. Toho makes a movie one year, Legendary puts theirs out the next. And in between, you got the TV show. You got possibly a season 2 of Singular Point where Toho could keep up their version of a TV show with their animation. And it's kind of win-win. I mean, well, it's win-win for me as a Godzilla fan who's getting up there in age. I want to see as much as I can before it's time to fly away. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm pretty sure I got a good solid 30 left in me. But I just, right now, we live in such a freaking age that with the way technology is, with the way storytelling is, it's ripe. And yes, we are right now as a society kind of fixated on the Marvel method of making movies, right? That's say that 25 times fast. Because they made something special. But honest to God, they weren't the first to do that. Godzilla did it. It culminated into Destroy All Monsters. The Universal Monsters did it. It culminated into, House of Frankenstein, or Frankenstein, meets the Wolfman. It was done. There's been certain precedences set already. But now if Toho is going back and saying, you know what? We're going to take a stab at this again, but we're going to do it, and we're going to follow, like, the Marvel model. I say go for it. Go for it, because they're not going to make movies like Marvel made their movies. No, but they're going to do some shit like, and you know me, I've said this a million times. Maybe they make a Rodan movie. Maybe they make another War of the Gargantuas. Maybe they make these movies where it's like, holy shit. And then maybe, just maybe, instead of Destroy All Monsters, we get another Godzilla Final Wars where Godzilla comes and kicks everybody's asses, because that's what he's doing in the Monsterverse. That's what he's doing in the Monsterverse. And could you imagine we see the OG Godzilla, Toho, doing their thing? Making Godzilla kick ass. Look, say what you will. A lot of people don't like Final Wars. I love it because it's nuts. But could you imagine if that movie was actually good? Like, good enough where people are, like, astounded by it? Where it culminated in all these different movies coming together and creating the big event movie? Toho is due for one of those. And Godzilla is their go-to guy. Godzilla's famous. Godzilla's on top of the game right now, man. As much as, society as a whole might not think it, they know what Godzilla is. You got to thank Legendary and Warner Brothers for that. You got to thank Toho for that. For letting it go. For letting their baby go. And right now, Toho saying we're coming next year. Be prepared. Oh my God. I hope we get Godzilla movies every year. Hell, I hope we get 2 Godzilla movies in a year, because if Legendary does it and Toho's doing something, or again, it could be when Godzilla vs. Kong 2 comes out, Toho doesn't drop a Godzilla movie. They drop the Rodan. They drop the Mothra. They drop a King Ghidorah. You know what I mean? Just to offset. All right, America got Godzilla right now. Let's do War of the Gargantuas. Bam, bro. Yes. Give it to me.
That would be fucking brilliant, dude. That really would. You know what? I want to see Space Amoeba, but good.
Dude, I'm with all of that, okay? I am with Space Amoeba. I am with Yogg. I am with the Mushroom. I'm with Matatango. I am with everything. Whatever. Listen, even though my feelings towards Shin Godzilla has changed over the past year, whereas I don't hate that movie, I also don't look at it as the way, the majority of the fans do. I look at it in a different way, which is the way and this is what makes me like, oh, I love this movie. Love, quotation. But even when that movie came out, in 2016, and we went, and I saw it in the theaters, I went twice, and I even bought it on Blu-ray because I want to support Toho. I want to support the cause, and I did not like that movie at all. But I still supported it. I bought it. I went to see it twice. I had to support it because I do. I trust in them. I trust in them. Oh, let's not forget today, right now, Godzilla versus Godzilla X Mega Godzilla is coming out in theaters. Fathom Events is doing a thing.
Yeah, huh?
I don't like that movie. I'm not a fan. I'm not going to see it in theaters. I'm gonna be honest. But I'm not going to see that in the theaters because that movie is 20 years old now. Today, this year it's 20 years old, or next year 20 years old. Toho doesn't need the money for that to make something new or to succeed. Shin Godzilla was different. It was a brand new thing. It was a brand new Godzilla. I got to go and see that shit. Now, if they was gonna put out, I don't know, let's say Godzilla 1985 in theaters, we wouldn't be having this live stream right now. I'd be gone. I'd be over there in the movie theaters with my Team Godzilla shirt on, even though it's the wrong universe. But I digress. I'm just saying, man, we are in for one hell of a year coming up in terms of, in regards to information getting leaked. Not even leaked, just put out there. I'm extremely excited about this. So I'm going to talk to you, Brother Chase, because you are the information go-getter. You have been since since you jumped onto the podcast. How many years have we been doing this now? How many years have you been on now? I mean, shit, should we be celebrating? I don't know. We're celebrating Godzilla. That's what we're doing because it's his birthday today. 68. Big guy. Look good. But Brother Chase, in your years of getting information for new Toho IP, you've seen a lot of things. You've run pretty much the gamut when it comes to that. Hell, you were doing investigative journalism yourself at a time. So let me ask you, what do you expect to come from Toho within the next couple months? Did we lose Brother Chase?
I think we did.
Oh no.
There he is.
Can you guys not hear me?
Oh no, there you
No,
are
we
now.
didn't
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
couldn't hear you at first.
No, okay. Can you hear me? You can hear me though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What I was gonna say, what I was saying was, are you meaning like the next 2 months, or like till July?
Yeah, the next several months, like whenever information will start leading up to to a year from tomorrow. Today.
So what I think is going to happen if Godzilla Singular Point 2 does get a sequel or season 2, they'll announce that in February or around March. But for like a next Godzilla film, this film coming out, I mean, from what we went with Shin Godzilla, because it's weird because even with the animes, it was kind of brief. But with Shin Godzilla, we will probably we'll see. The thing is Shin Godzilla came out in like the July or June, and then we started getting stuff. Gosh, it was like March, April, or May. We started seeing stuff. So I still stick with we'll probably start getting information around the summertime if we're lucky. Late spring, end of March. But Who knows? I mean, the thing is with Toho doing this because of the with them saying, this is because it's inspiration and stuff from the United States audience, with that being their factor. Obviously, that leads to the point. Obviously, they're taking in consideration of the Western society and how that inspires Godzilla, and how it's seeming like they know now the targeted audience aside from Japan. Right. And so I think I would like to think Toho would change the strategy and be like, okay, we're going to make this a little bit more marketing fluid, and we'll start seeing stuff like a trailer or at least some type of information. I mean, in March, I think March would be a good month. It also just depends when we see a trailer for Godzilla, the next MonsterVerse one too, because they might do a thing where they follow a template with that. But I don't. The difference with that is we have 2 years for that film, and we only have a year for this one. So, gosh, I don't know. Toho's kind of unpredictable, but with just what we're going with, I say if it comes to July and we haven't seen anything, then it's anything after July. I mean, the one thing I just don't want is for them to do like what they did with Shin Godzilla and showed us a trailer and then nothing after that, and then. Well, actually, no. I actually would be okay with that if they showed us. If they did this, because the difference with the Shin Godzilla thing was they showed us a trailer and then it was months of silence. And I'm trying to remember when that first trailer came out, but I remember it being a long time, and we were like, "When are we going to see more? When are we going to see more?" But with this, since we know the date, yeah, I think July is a good time to start seeing Godzilla stuff for Toho. Gotcha. That's where I'll put my money.
JR, I'm gonna ask you this. Brother Chase made a good point when he said something about Toho looking at the way Legendary does it, or not that, when he says Toho looking at the market. Now, Godzilla vs. Kong was a success considering where we were still during this, the smog monster flying around the earth, destroying, everybody. But at the same time, it did make money, even though it premiered simultaneously on HBO Max. It made money. It's also safe to say that it is catered towards everybody. It's not like Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla was catered to a very specific demographic, right? It was very heavily involved with Japanese politics and how that works. And, a lot of people outside of that were kind of like, what's going on? Well, what is this? Godzilla has always been something that appeals to children. Legendary seems to be going that direction, have been going in that direction, especially since King of the Monsters. Does Toho, like Brother Chase just said, does Toho recognize that and say, hey, we used to make Godzilla movies for kids back in the day, but now we got adults. We've got people like me, grown-ass men with families, who love Godzilla, is going to go see anything anyway. They see that in their marketing. Do they start making movies like that? Do we start making movies that appeal to everyone? Bring your family to see this Godzilla movie. There's going to be something for everybody, because that is how Marvel does shit. It really is. You got the fanfare for the children. You got the little in jokes for the adults. You've got the shit for the comic book geeks. Everything's there. And Toho, at this point in time, I'm pretty sure they get that. I mean, shit, Singular Point. It had some of that flavor where it was like a hardcore Godzilla geek would get that, but it was still, aside from the crazy plot that Brother Gam Gams, talks about, aside from that, but it still had something for everybody. Do you think that's what Toho's doing now?
No. Because I I'm not familiar with the director. I haven't seen the director's movies, and obviously the director's going to have a vision. Depending on how his movies are in the past would definitely play into it, at least from a directorial standpoint. But I think, in all honesty, like, it would almost be smart to kind of cater towards an adult audience, because the MonsterVerse, you know, like, people of all ages can enjoy that, minus the Cannibal Holocaust reference in Kong Skull Island. Like, that's just the fucking way out there. But that's what I've always, like, seen with these. It's like, they're not, the MonsterVerse movies aren't just for adults by any stretch of the imagination. I think those are your Marvel movies, in my eyes at least.
Yeah, aside from the first 2014 Godzilla, you could take your kids to see that, but that was more adult oriented. But anything after that,
oh yeah,
it was definitely like, family friendly.
Oh yeah, and that's where I'm like thinking what Toho should do, especially if this one's going to be set in pre-war Japan, like, you know, 1930s or whatever. Kind of cater to that adult audience a little bit. And I don't know, because something I've always said, because I love the Showa era is my favorite era. I love that era. And something I've always wanted to see is, well, let's just go back then. It takes place in that era. And we go back and make modern day Godzilla movies back then. You can still have some of the camp, but make it a little bit more serious, I guess. It would be interesting, especially if, you know, it's taking place before World War II and everything, you know? I don't know. I would just like to see Toho, not, because I can't even say Shin Godzilla was super serious, because that movie was weird. The anime trilogy too. I don't want anime trilogy serious. That was too fucking far.
Yeah, that alienated a lot of people.
Yeah, that anime trilogy was so full of itself. It was like, okay, we get it. Calm down, Dogma of the Godzilla series. We don't need this shit. I'm bringing it back to the previous.
That was the last live stream a week ago.
I really do think Toho should cater to an adult audience a little bit more. I mean, obviously, don't make every single one rated R, you know, but have more adult themes in it. And yeah, you know, have Godzilla, for instance, existing, you know, it's pre-World War II, maybe during World War II, you know, Godzilla's destroying Tokyo or something. I don't know, let's do something. Go crazy with the shit. Come on, Toho! Like, let's correct the wrongs.
I don't know what wrongs need to be corrected. I mean,
I do. Shin Godzilla anime trilogy.
Yeah.
See, where I feel is look, a couple months ago, I went to a restaurant and I was wearing a Godzilla shirt, and there was a family sitting behind me, and these two little kids, probably no older than 9. When I turned to sit down, both of those kids, especially the son, yelled in the restaurant, "Mommy, he has a Godzilla shirt on." And you want to talk about the pure joy that I got, that I was the celebrity in this restaurant, was fantastic. That these two kids, after they got up, wanted to talk to me about Godzilla. I say that is powerful. Now, I love the MonsterVerse so much because obviously these kids are watching them, but these kids, they're veterans, because they were talking to me about Shawa, they were talking to me about Hedorah, Megalon, Gigan, all of these. And the mom's like, yeah, we have all the movies, and, you know, they watch, you know, all the movies. And this little girl, as cute as could be, was talking about how she just loves Mothra, which is great. So, in my opinion, it's tough because I do agree the more serious tones, but I don't want to be seeing rated R Godzilla movies. I I I would love to find a happy medium. Now I don't want like Godzilla the series type stuff or like, kid centricated, you know, oh, kids have to go rescue baby Godzilla Jr. in this lab or find an egg or, Godzilla, or family values type jokes.
Oh, God.
I don't want that. But I
You
think you
don't-
can
you don't want
definitely.
camera.
Yeah, I was
No,
gonna say that.
no.
No show
we
a
don't-
camera.
Yeah. I would love to see a happy medium to where they can keep the serious themes and make the point serious, but allow it to be not so restricted to the younger audience to where it's like, oh, should my child watch this? Because at the end of the day, you are watching something that was spawned off of a very historical and dark event. And Godzilla spawned that way to be a very dark and historical thing. But now it's changed, and you can go back to that. But you got to remember, once you have 68 years of something to go back, and you have an audience that follows Jurassic Park, that resonates with dinosaurs, it's going to be kind of difficult for that. And I think that if you can find the happy medium to where, okay, kids can be safe watching this, but also we can follow the themes, because I remember even as a kid certain Godzilla movies that I knew in the back of my mind, oh, this message in this movie is very dark and sophisticated that I'm as a child don't really understand yet. Now as an adult going back and watching that, I'm like, okay, I got that. As a kid, I loved this movie for what it was, knowing now as an adult this message is really messed up and dark and serious to be taken care of, and I love that. And I think if you find that happy medium, that's kind of the best case scenario. That's what I would like to see personally. I don't want to see Barneyzilla, but I would that's where I would think the happy medium is. But the thing is, even with Toho though, I mean, now the culture over there in Japan is so different than United States. I don't know how sheltered kids are in Japan. I think in Japan they aren't.
No, they
It's
aren't.
more of a respect. Yeah.
I mean,
So
look at
I
you. Just
think-
look at what anime has done over the past 50 years.
Oh yeah, totally.
They are not. Listen, it's not censored. It's not.
Yeah, so that's where I think the best case scenario is. Let's find a happy medium, a respectful one that doesn't diminish our film to make it kind of idiotic or mediocre or childish. Doesn't take away from our message, but yet we can bring apart a message that everyone can understand, and it's not going to nick any nerves of people that are concerned.
Well,
That's what I would like.
when I mean like an adult theme like Godzilla 1984, that kind of tone, that's what I want.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can watch that movie with your kids, scare the shit out of them, but 1985 scared the shit out of me as a kid, especially the Roger Corman edit where at the end Godzilla screams when he's falling down the volcano. That was
that is probably
fuck.
the biggest Godzilla what the fuck moment.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what you can do to top that one.
I honestly think you keep it. Not look. I'm not saying kid friendly. Like Godzilla's gonna be blasting a monster and flowers are gonna grow out of it.
Children.
Right. But at the same time, you want that spectacle. You want that thing that, look, I want what initially dragged me into this whole fandom when I was a kid. When I saw Godzilla for the first time in the very early 80s. When my eyes bulged out of my head like, what is this madness that is awesome? And of course, it was a Showa movie. And it was in all its technicolor glory. And I don't remember exactly which movie I saw first. All I know is I saw a dinosaur kicking the shit out of another monster's ass while destroying a city and explosions. And it was done in a way where there was still innocence to it because Godzilla was portrayed as a hero. And as a kid, I gravitated toward it right away because I'm like, Look at how cool this thing is. It was, honest to God, I swear to everything. The first Godzilla movie I ever saw was either freaking, oh my God, Megalon or freaking Ibra. I for whatever reason, those are the two that just pop out of my brain as when I was a child. For the first time ever laying eyes on this. Because that's what used to be on TV all the time. But there's a way you can do all of that again and still make it so, because bottom line is Toho wants to make money. Toho wants to make money. Could you imagine? Let's be for real here. Toho Godzilla movies don't make a fraction of what the MonsterVerse has made. Let's just be for real. And Toho knows that, and they want that. So I think they're gonna definitely give us a rebooted Showa. That's what I'm guessing. A rebooted Showa. And I'm not saying that they're gonna go beat for beat those movies, but they're gonna introduce those characters the way they introduced those characters back then. That makes those Showa movies so freaking great. But they're gonna modernize it. They're not gonna, again, and I was thinking about this the other night. My feelings towards Godzilla King of the Monsters, the legendary version, it goes back and forth. There are days that I love it, and then there are days that I hate it. And then when I think about it, I go, why do I hate it? It's not because of anything when the monsters are on the screen. When Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah's on screen, it's the best thing in the world. When all the other ancillary monsters are on screen, that they don't have any part in them, it's the best thing in the world. When the cities are getting destroyed, when Boston is crumbling, when Godzilla and King Ghidorah is fucking up the Arctic, it's the most beautiful thing. And I go, yeah, I can't hate this movie. I just hate those jokes. You take that away and you present King of the Monsters 2019 on a platter, there's your ticket to success, Toho. There's your ticket to success. And don't get me wrong, y'all all know how I feel. Godzilla vs. Kong, that is a far superior movie in my eyes. I love that movie because they didn't joke around with it. They did. I mean, they took it as serious as a giant dinosaur versus a giant monkey could be. And I'm wearing that GBK shirt today. Team Godzilla, people.
You know, the one thing though about Godzilla vs. Kong is that it still followed the formula to where this could be a kid's film, but yet it still had that seriousness of where it didn't have those just the reason King of the Monsters was because of the dialogue writing and the character writing was just so poor and the jokes was just dookie, man. And that's the one thing that I liked about Godzilla vs. Kong is that, yeah, they had jokes, but at least they weren't like cringy, like, I mean, some of them might have been dumb to you, but I mean, I love the scene with Ronnie Chang, and they're like the, I don't know if it's like a little grocery store or a restaurant, and he's talking about like, the
Tide Pods.
The kids doing Tide Pod challenges. I'm like, okay, that was funny to me, but that stuff to me, that I like that a lot, and you were following two kids. Yes, they were supposed to have more of a dynamic arc, and unfortunately, I do not see them coming back for the MonsterVerse sequel.
No.
But I think that is an example to me of a happy medium, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And
unless you want something more darker.
No, and that's the thing. I mean, because you could potentially go dark. Again, look at this image on the screen. Like, look at this logo. What is that? Is that Godzilla? Like you said before, it looks like Godzilla, and then it looks like the old school Alien logo. But it's not. It's the new Godzilla logo. That's definitely a G. Are those spots? I mean, look at that thing.
The letter G.
Is that Godzilla? Is it a Muto? Is it, God forbid, Bagon? Because let's not make no mistakes about it. Bagon he was at that festival last night in Japan. They had a suit. It was there. They came out
Yeah,
of the
and
tent.
it was updated.
Yep, they came out of the tent after announcing this,
Yeah.
and that was the first thing they showed. Now, I'm not sitting here and saying Baggin is going to be in this movie. I honestly hope this is a solo Godzilla movie. That's the one thing I liked about Shin Godzilla. It was a solo movie. I like that. Make it solo. But at the same time, and I'm not saying that this is the case, but at the same time, you know how many fans, and I think this is like a meme before it was a meme, want Baggin? You know what I'm saying? Like, they want it. They want it. And Destroyer, let's not, play no games. Destroyer is very reminiscent of Baggin. Very reminiscent of Baggin. But I tell you, I am excited. We are getting a brand new Godzilla movie from Toho. Not a lot of details outside of the director and the date about this movie's coming out. We just know who the director is, and we know when it's coming. But if this is the beginning of Toho's Godzillaverse, good God Almighty, we are going to be in for a treat because, again, when it's your baby, you know how to take care of that. You know how to take care of that. Toho didn't pull the rug from Legendary with Shin Godzilla. They didn't. They seen what it was doing. They seen what the Monsterverse Godzilla was doing. But back in 98, when they saw Godzilla 98, you saw how fast they pulled the rug. They was like, oh, no. We're going to make a new movie. Remember, they were supposed to be on hiatus for 15 years. Oh, no, we're going to make a movie. Oh, no, wait. Let us show you something.
What else funny about 98 is that it this is what makes me laugh.
Wait, real quick,
real
quick, before you say anything. That's not me shitting on Godzilla 98. I appreciate the shit out of that movie. I do love it. It's not a Godzilla movie. And that's why I love it so much. This is why I love Shin Godzilla now. Because it is not a remake to 54. Shin Godzilla is a remake to 98. Because it's not a Godzilla movie. And when you look at it like that, it's the best thing ever. Go ahead, my friend.
The one thing that's funny is, Toho had the bankruptcy. And what's funny is Godzilla 98 was not a box office failure. And they scrapped it just because of the character's reception. But that film was a very successful Godzilla movie. And that's what's really funny to me. It's like, yeah, but yet again, Toho's like, money. But then they're like, but also faithfulness to our character that we created. And the thing is now it's kind of shifted where 98's kind of not as bashed on as much. You have those some fans that are a little bit, immature still, and they're not fully accepting and stuff, and they kind of take it too far. But 98's now becoming kind of thing where it's like, yeah, okay. I personally love Godzilla 98. The more I watch it, the more I love it. There's things about it that I love and things about it I would love to see in the Monsterverse come to it. Because I love Kyle Dunn, and I would love to see him back as Colonel Major Hicks in the Monsterverse. I want him to be in Monarch because I just thought he was a great character. But I love there's a lot of themes in that film that I liked a lot, but to me it's just funny that they're just like, yeah, we have to stop this because even though we could make a sequel with this film, which we set it up for a sequel, we're not going to do it because obviously our fans don't like it, which I guess in a way is smart because if people did not go back to see it again and they did lose a lot of money making a sequel, that just would have been worse. But yet I just think I just laugh at that because it's just strange. It's funny to me with them going bankruptcy, getting money, and then stopping it. It's just kind of funny.
I saw that movie 4 times in the theaters. I saw 98 4 times and it did
3 when it came out.
Oh, I was not. I'll put it like that. I was a lot older than that, but
I was a 95, baby.
It did get a sequel. In the awesome Godzilla the series. It got a sequel. they acknowledge. I mean, all the characters are there. They acknowledge the events that happen in the movie, and even the original Godzilla comes back as a quasi Mecha Godzilla in the Cyborgzilla. So, and that show is a success. Even the naysayers of the movie coming to defend that show. You can't defend that show if you didn't like the movie. I mean, no, I can't say that. You can defend the show if you didn't like the movie. The show is extremely better. It feels more like Godzilla. So
I have a question. Oh, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
No, I was gonna say. So technically, Godzilla '98 did get its sequel.
You know, in the movie when they're like contact and it's code Dragonfly, or code Dragonfly. This is something I was thinking. Do you think, since they were all going to pretty much die in that mall, code Dragonfly meant to nuke New York? Because he said specifically, we came here to clean up our mess. And I was thinking about that. I wonder if they were doing, like, if that's just kind of the implication, like they were going to nuke New York because they were all going to die. What could Code Dragonfly be? More soldiers coming in?
All right, wait.
There were thousands of those baby Godzillas.
No, who said Code Dragonfly? The Philippe?
The Gene Riano's character. He says, tell him it's Code Dragonfly. And when he's telling them to call on the phone to reach out?
No, because they didn't nuke the city. That wasn't going to be a thing. They sent.
Well, no.
They sent the fighter jets.
Go ahead.
They sent the fighter jets. They blew up Madison Square Garden. They killed.
No.
They got.
That's when all of them meet together and contact the military from the news. But when all of it goes to hell, and just Nick and all the French dudes are being chased out, and they're like, we can't escape. Or remember that?
I swear
when they can't escape.
No, in Madison Square Garden when they're running around through the garden. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember no Code Dragonfly, but at the same time, I don't think it was Nuke New York. Because everything was contained.
Of course it wasn't. But when he says, tell him it's Code Dragonfly, it makes me wonder if that means, like, okay, obviously I'm thinking we're not going to get out of here. You know, contact them, tell them Code Dragonfly. And then it was just by chance, then Audrey and the other guy come up. And then it's not something to be taken seriously, but it was something that I thought about because the implication is in that scene that they are not getting out of the mall, and he's telling them to call this number on the cell phone, the satellite phone, and nothing goes through, and then he tries to find a pay phone again. And it doesn't go, and the lines are cut as well.
All right, listen, we are way off topic. Forget that shit. It's not a nuke.
Yeah,
Code Dragonfly
confusion, I think, is what's making it off topic.
No, Code Dragonfly was straight up just bomb Madison Square Garden because this is where the threat is. That was it. They weren't gonna nuke New York City. They weren't gonna. No. They weren't aliens from Independence Day. Hovering over the city of Houston when Bill Pullman was like, "I'm gonna nuke the bastards." Nope.
I'm gonna stick with it. I think he was gonna nuke New York if he was gonna die because he's like, we came here to clean it up.
Yeah, but that's overkill. It's overkill. So it didn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. So that's not what we're doing. Wait, no, you know what, JR? What do you think? JR, let me hear your opinion on this matter. Are you in agreement with Brother Chase, or like nuke the city, or it was just like, no, just blow up Madison Square Garden?
I think the Godzilla versus Gigan short film was great.
Which let's get to that right now. But before we do, I do want to shout out. We had a comment from Methadone for Life. What a name! What a name! Yep. This is Done for Life's comment. I want Toho Godzilla. Take it back to the Showa days. Just my thoughts. I like this serious as well. Don't want to see a lot of kid stuff, however. Being a kid in the 70s, fell in love with Gojira. I agree. Methadone for Life. I love your name. That's insanity. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like both what all three of us kind of want. What a little bit what JL wants, a little bit what me and G73 want. You know, a old school Showa-esque Godzilla movie, but living in today's world. And I'm okay with that. I'm really looking forward to something like that.
Yeah.
But hey, let's talk about it. Gigan turned 50 years old, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't give us just one. They gave us two crazy-ass Gigan things in the form of videos. So I don't know. All right, let me actually. I'm not starting with you, but I'm gonna take a poll. Should we start with Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex first, or the Gigan 50th anniversary first?
Gigan 50th anniversary.
50th anniversary, Brother Chase. Where do you want to go with this?
So reiterate this question. I'm kind of confused.
Which short video should we start off with? Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex or the Gigan 50th anniversary one?
50th anniversary. I think the Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex one needs a lot of a discussion.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. I'm with you on that. So let's talk about this. Just like last year with Hedorah's 50th anniversary, Toho went out of their way to produce a short film for Gigan's 50th anniversary. It used the Final Wars Godzilla suit again, but in my opinion, this was such an improvement over last year's. And I loved the Hedorah thing last year. I loved it. But this was serious. It felt more serious, okay? Again, it wasn't subtitles, so Godzilla, I guess, was just doing Godzilla and walking around through Tokyo like, what's going on? I'm hungry. And then all of a sudden, light in the sky, and here comes the OG Gigan. The 1972 Gigan. Which, by the way, in case y'all didn't know, brief history lesson, Godzilla has never beaten. And that's a fact. Godzilla has never destroyed the OG 72 Gigan. That's a fact. He didn't even destroy the Zone Fighter. Zone Fighter destroyed Gigan. So this is the first time, people. It took 50 years, but Godzilla finally got his. Finally got his. And oh my God, when I tell you, was it something to behold? I fucking love this. It was this that had me salivating even more for new Toho Godzilla. More so than last year's Hedorah. And the way this was done, this production, bro, there's no way next year is going to be any less. I mean, we're going to have the movie first off, but come on. Next year is Megalon's 50. That means that's Jaguar's 50th too. I'm just looking forward to the future. What was that from? Batman. AR card. Think about the future. I am so ready for the future. But let's talk about this. JR, I'll start with you. What did you think of this live action Gigan 50th anniversary?
It was nice to actually see Godzilla fighting the monster. Because the Godzilla vs. Hedorah one, like, they were always behind the buildings. You just saw stuff flying. I'm like, oh, wow, this is not fucking worth it. I actually really enjoyed it. And, you know, it had some good little cinematography shots where it's, like, moving in the windows and you see all the tables and chairs shaking around in there. But it looked like they were fucking miniatures. That was great. Yeah. Fucking brilliant. And yeah, the damage Gigan was doing to Godzilla looked good. I did think it was a little cheesy how at the end Godzilla's laying down and Gigan comes over. And then Godzilla grabs his legs. I was like, you played that. That's so campy. I love it. I thought it was fucking great. I thought it was so great that during this podcast I fucking downloaded it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I never got to download that Godzilla vs. Hedra one, and that dude, Toho scrubbed that shit. It's fucking gone.
Really?
Like, yeah, I don't know why they do that. It's really weird to me, but it's whatever.
Hopefully.
No, I thought it was an awesome.
No, go ahead. I was saying, hopefully they probably just put it together on a little disc and put it in a box set.
I hope so, dude. I'd buy that in the fucking heartbeat. No, I thought it was awesome. It was awesome. The 2004 suit's looking a little wonkier. I will say that it doesn't look the same anymore.
Well, it's a recreation.
It is. I thought it was the original suit.
No.
I was like, the suit ain't looking right anymore.
There was a couple of... I noticed it this morning when I watched it. Right now, I can't exactly pinpoint it, but I remember I was like, oh, they played with it. And not for the worse. I thought it was genius. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. I didn't think it was bad. No, and I think it was the right amount of length, and it's hard to say anything bad about it because it seems like, again, they're getting better because last year's was cool, but and this year's was like, oh, this is really good. So I enjoyed it. Right on, Toho. You still got it.
You still
At
got
least
it.
with the suits.
Brother Chase, what did you think of the Gigan 50th anniversary video? We lost him again, Jim. He's probably there. He just has his thing muted.
I mean,
there he is.
It kicked me out.
Ah, okay, there you are.
Yeah, I was like, why did it go quiet for a second?
Spock.
So what did you think of the 50th anniversary Gigan thing?
I haven't honestly really pondered of what I thought. I love it. I think it's great that they do these. Of course, it just kind of teases me a bit because I do wish, shit, I would like to see a Godzilla movie with these suits.
Right.
I mean, obviously these are not really budgeted at all. They might have maybe a little bit of a budget for special effects here and there and the suits and stuff, but it's not like they're actual full-fledged Godzilla scenes or movies. But I love the gimmick of it. I love the honoring and just I don't know. I mean, aside honestly from just the fact that it was done just for a little gimmick, I'm just glad they did that. I mean, I thought that partially a piece of me felt like, I don't know. I don't want to be critical about it at all, but it didn't sit with me in a way that I hoped. But I think that's just because I definitely want to see a Godzilla film by Toho, and yeah, I didn't hate it, but I think there's just a part of me that's a little bit selfish, and is like, I just want to see something full-fledged, and it's just a tease to me. But I thought it was great. I really appreciate the honorability to it, and just celebrating Godzilla and Gigan. I'm glad they did that. I look forward to them doing it next year too with another monster. You said it's going to be Megalons next year.
It's Megalons is 50 next year.
I think if we see Megalon again, that's going to be a big whoa, because we haven't seen Megalon since Megalon, and
that's actually crazy to fucking think about.
I know.
Right.
Oh my god.
And it's one of those things that we're going to get to in a second, too, that I was just screaming about because, yeah, we have not seen Megalon since Megalon, and I am ready to see Megalon again.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway was it was weird seeing Godzilla Final Wars with, Godzilla 84's roar. And then I don't mean weird in a bad way. It was just strange because in my mind, I'm like, okay, you're supposed to have Millennium's roar. But I did like Godzilla's kill shot at the end of the little short film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, I just love that Toho does these. How I feel about it as a quality and whole is kind of irrelevant. I'm not really wanting to be critical about it on Godzilla's birthday because it's just, I think my thoughts about it are more just personal. But I'm definitely glad that they're doing these little short films, kind of honoring the Tokatsu Suitmation stuff. I like that a lot, and keeping that alive in some variation. Now that's what's going to be interesting is what are they going to do for the next film? Because Shin Godzilla was all puppet and stuff, but if I kind of disagree with all of that because when you see the making of Shin Godzilla is definitely a man with a face mask and CGI parts and stuff that are attached to him. So, I don't buy Shin Godzilla being all of a puppet like they claimed, but I'm curious to see how they're going to do the filming with the next Godzilla film. Is if Godzilla is going to be the same method or if he's going to be all computer generated.
Yeah, in terms of the next official feature-length Godzilla film, I hope it's a mixture of both. I really do. But I won't complain either way. I just want some new Godzilla. I did not complain. Listen, I don't like the design of Shin Godzilla. I don't like the look. I thought there could have been a better story in regards to it. It was just a dumb looking thing. Instead of like a resurrected, I don't know, busting out of Mount Mahara, sequel directly from. But I digress. I'm not even going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to talk about this Godzilla, this Gigan 50th anniversary piece. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did not hate the different roars Godzilla had. I actually freaking applauded that. I loved that because it seemed when Godzilla changed up his roar, it felt like it was a different emotional part in the sequence. Not emotional where crying or where Godzilla was like, oh, hold up. This is tougher than I thought. Let me put a little bass in my voice. It was things like that. I was digging the shit out of it. I was like, oh. So when I'm hearing that 84 roar, first off, that's the greatest roar of all time. When I'm hearing that 84 roar, I'm all up in arms. I'm like, yo, get him, G. Gigan itself, I loved that they used the claws. I love that they used the claws to such deadly degree, if you will. Like when he slices Godzilla's face, and you hear it get sliced, you hear that slice sound, and then like you don't see nothing, and Godzilla's like kind of pulls his head back up, and he's got the nick on his cheek. I thought that was fucking brilliant, and he even touches it like, this motherfucker got me. The roar changes right there. I loved it. It started to get to a certain level. Like, it built. It was building up. It was like, oh, this ain't nothing. And then it was like, oh, I got to put my big boy pants on. Hold up. I love that. Like JR said, we actually saw a fight. We actually saw it.
Yeah. And just one thing I wanted to bring up is that suit, the Final War suit, there was a certain part watching that where the lighting was perfect on that suit and it looked so real.
Yeah.
That Final Wars Godzilla suit, it was like moist and wet and it was so just vivid and it looked like old classic Heisei Godzilla and it was just the textures, just everything in that suit were amazing. and I loved it. And I remember seeing that. And I'm like, gosh, I got to find that again because I thought that was great.
I agree. With the exception of the moist and wet part of your statement, I'm gonna step away from that one. But no, I agree. They look fantastic.
You can see water droplets in the suit. Okay.
Yes. It did look fantastic. Also, what I loved that it took place at night, and the way they had it lit was great. Again, the JR.
Boo! Daytime scenes only.
Huh?
Boo! Daytime scenes only.
No, but that's one of those things that I love, because if you go back to the original Gigan movie, when he starts destroying Tokyo, it's all at night. Like, it's a straight up night shot, and then they add that in. You know what I'm saying? They use that as stock footage in Godzilla vs. Megalon, some of those scenes. But that whole sequence, the Gigan's destroying, he's wrecking shit at night. So I like that. Again, the sharpness of the claws, the fact that you can see the fight when Gigan goes and takes a swing at Godzilla after he's already been nicked. Now Godzilla knows, no, stay away from that shit. And Gigan's going through the buildings. The buildings aren't crumbling. They're getting sliced. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. To JR's point, seeing the miniatures and knowing they're miniatures, but the way they're shaking, the cinematography was on point. Straight up reminded me of Gamera Guardian of the Universe. You know what I'm saying? The first one with Gyaos. There's a scene where Gyaos' head gets, bust into the building, and there's this miniature there, and everything just goes nuts. I love it. That's how I felt. Hell, even Shin Godzilla had a couple of good miniature shots from inside. I loved it. But again, I go back to Godzilla. Finally, after 50 years, he has defeated except for Megalon, he has defeated every single foe put in front of him. And Rodan. He did not kill Rodan. He's never killed Rodan.
Yeah.
So, but every other one, he's destroyed. He's destroyed. Gigan was never destroyed by Godzilla. Not this version. Final Wars Gigan, yes. Not this version. And I thought they were going to pull the Final Wars, where Godzilla was going to blow its head off, and I'm glad they didn't. I really loved the fact that it just kind of not melted his face, but superheated it. Where Gigan just fell and then exploded. Oh! I love when Godzilla punches Gigan in the face. But he knew exactly where to punch him. And he cracks the laser beam on right above his eye.
Funny enough, that laser beam, they never even used it in the original film. Both. Godzilla vs. Gigan and Godzilla vs. Megalon.
All right.
So it's nice to actually see the goddamn suit use what was supposed to be originally in the film.
Exactly. I mean, we got it in Final Wars, and we got it in a bunch of subsequent comics from that point on. And I always loved it because I'm like, well, it's an alien from outer space. It should have some kind of alien weaponry, and besides the chainsaw thing, which again was another thing that I loved. See, and that's what I'm saying. You see, like, this little short showed where you could get a little gruesome. Granted, they didn't show blood, but it's gore. Godzilla's chest was split open, like not split open, but it was open, man. It was a gash in Godzilla's chest. You can do that going forward. That's what I mean. Like, you can do that with these new movies, but still, this was the perfect example of going forward, where you can have every single body. A kid is gonna love it. A teenager will probably get a kick out of it. Fanboys are gonna fucking soak it in. You know what I mean? There's something for everybody. I absolutely love this, and yeah, to your point, JR, when Godzilla plays dead, but then grabs those claws and just stands up and goes, "Don't you know who I am? A Batman." And just blows. God, it was the best. I was screaming. I was like a little girl downstairs. Like, oh, I love. Bro, I loved it. I loved it. The production value was great. Way better than the Hedorah. The cinematography was great. it was better than Hedorah. Not by much. Hedorah has some great cinematography, but as JR said, you couldn't see the fight. You could see the fight. You can see Godzilla was juking. He was moving. He was ducking. If there was one thing I would say that they should have done was Godzilla should have did a tail swipe. But I digress. Everything else, it just worked. It worked so well that this was top notch. And like you said, Brother Chase, man, listen, this is what I want to see in a Godzilla movie going forward. Like, they nailed it. And there's a scene, I think it's after Godzilla gets the nick on his face, where his eyes actually, because they were already the angry golden amberish color, but when he gets that nick and he goes all mad and all of a sudden the 84 roar starts happening, Godzilla's eyes look like they're on fire. They're like almost a bright orange. And I was like, oh, straight out of Godzilla Final Wars, I'll take it. I loved it. This thing was one of the best things I've ever seen. And I saw it after I saw Godzilla versus Gigan Rex, but we're gonna get to that in a second. But yeah, this is this is just good stuff produced by Toho.
Yeah.
Like Chase said, it's done on a cheap. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of it. You look at that and you go, man, that's a couple $1,000. Maybe a couple tens. Maybe let's say 15,000. Maybe 20,000. You know, in today's standards, that ain't nothing. But in those 9 minutes, man, it was something to behold. I absolutely loved it. And again, Godzilla finally got to kill the OG Gigan. He killed him. Finally did it. He did it. Godzilla, you fucking go. Now, leave Rodan alone, motherfucker. Don't you touch him. I'll come after you, Godzilla. I'll come after you. But, yeah. So, all right, thumbs up. Thumbs up for the Gigan 50th anniversary video.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Thumbs up. All right. Toho, you got to do something next year, man. Don't just be like, all right, listen, because we did a new movie. We couldn't do Megalon. Because that's a fucking cop-out. Because that's a cop-out. Like Chase said, we haven't seen Megalon since Megalon. So stop it. Stop it. You better, you owe us. You owe us. You gave us fucking Jet Jaguar in the anime, and you gave us a cheap knockoff version of Megalon. So stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
No, they beyond fucking owe us at this point. It's like, it's you owe us, and then it's like, motherfucker, what is going on? It's like, Megalon's a great character. Come on.
It's so good. It's so good. Dude, think about it. Hedorah and Megalon. What I love about them is that, granted, Hedorah's a spore from space that landed in trash and just so happened to turn into a kaiju. Fine. But Megalon is a fucking deity in an underwater fucking society. Stop it. Stop.
Utopia.
It's dope. It's so dope. It's dope. It's like Manda was. It's exactly like Manda was in the Lost City of Mu. So stop. Come on. You don't do this shit, Toho. Listen to me. I know you're not listening, but listen to me. You better make a new Megalon. Like, you better give me that shit. You can throw Jet Jaguar in there. Fuck it. Just make Jet Jaguar versus Megalon. I wouldn't be mad. But
I see it now. Jet Jaguar and Megalon are duking it out, then Godzilla shows up. Megalon, like, Jet Jaguar turns around to look at Godzilla, and Megalon then just stabs his drill through Jet Jaguar and kills him.
oh, that's messed up.
Well, here's the thing, though. You gotta have Gigan in it.
No, Gigan's dead now. He's dead. No more Gigan.
That is true.
He's dead.
That is true.
He has a bit of a headache that's going to last for a while.
He exploded. He's dead. Gigan has finally been got. I'm so happy. That shit made me happy as fuck.
I mean, that's not the only Gigan we saw die today, though.
We saw several Gigan die today. All right. God. I guess we got to get into it, right? Right?
Yeah.
Oh. Godzilla versus Gigan Rex. My God, man. Now, to my defense, Chase, I was sleeping last night. Like, When I said when I was leaving, I was
I
gonna pass out.
kind of figured. Usually when you ignore me, it is because you're asleep.
I was passed out. The crazy thing is,
You were asleep. I felt betrayed.
I had it up in my bedroom. I had the live stream up. I was going to bed, but you know what's funny? I was actually watching Gigan and Chibi Plush Godzilla give fist bumps to everybody in the line. I was enjoying the shit out of that, actually. I kept saying, man, I really wish I was there. Please, let me dream about this. I was like, I loved it. I really did. I really, really did. I was like, man, that's just so cool because here's the deal. Could you imagine? You get to fist bump a Toho kaiju? Listen, you know, I'll use my daughter as an example. We go to Disney. She meets all her favorite princesses. But do I meet Godzilla? No. Okay, look, you got these Star Wars characters walking around. Is that really Chewbacca in a suit? No, that's not Chewbacca. There's some dude in a suit. You know what I'm saying? So do I really get to meet one of my heroes? No. Is Mark Hamill walking around the park dressed as Luke Skywalker? No. Is that really Darth Vader? Could be. Right? But all of that shit goes away. I don't care. I know it's fake. But good God almighty. If I'm in Japan and I'm online and I get to meet Godzilla, I'm going to fangirl out. Fangirl, listen to what I said. I'm going to fangirl out. Oh my God.
I can hear you screaming now.
Yep. Oh my God, it's Godzilla. Oh. Yo, man. They kicked me out of Japan.
That's not the scream I pictured.
Huh?
That's not the scream I pictured.
Yeah, it'd be very high pitched. But I'm just saying, man.
Full on.
Dude, and that's so. Last night, and I woke up, and then Gigan wasn't there, but Godzilla was there. I was like, oh man, that's so awesome. And then I fell back to sleep. And it's cool shit, you know? It was. I thought it was cool. But it's Godzilla versus Gigan Rex. I couldn't believe it. Right off the bat. Now, I'm going to be honest. Before I saw the whole thing, I was not digging this Gigan look. And I still don't. I gotta be honest. Gigan Rex, yeah, alright. But the Gigan itself, like Gigans, plural, like the OG look, I didn't like them. There was something wrong. I don't know if the heads were too small and the bodies were too big. There was just something off I was not feeling. And I'm really, actually, I love this dude's work. What's it? Methylo Kaiju?
No, Gemstone.
Gemstone. Never mind. You're right. Gemstone.
That's what Kaiju. He copycats, makes his own work, but they're like off-brand versions of what we see.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to Methylo Kaiju right now because I do like his shit.
I do too. I do too.
he got some stuff. But yeah, no, Gemstone, man, listen. Wasn't a fan of that guy, the OG Gigan look. Again, like I said, it's like the head's too small, the body's too big. I'm not a fan. But you cannot, listen to what I'm telling you, you cannot start a motherfucking Godzilla video, especially animated, tugging at my heartstrings, playing his side music, and give me a second, and show it. The end of Godzilla versus Destroyer with Junior in the fog. You can't do that to me, man. You can't do that to me, is what I'm saying. Because off the bat, I'm going to be like, this is the greatest thing ever. Ever. It was beautiful. And I got to be honest. I watched that shit like 3 times. I don't know if that opening sequence is CG or a suit, because it looks so good. It looks like it's a suit. It looks like it's the Godzilla the Ride suit moving through the fog. I still can't. It was, and that's just the first 8 seconds of this 6-minute glorious piece of Godzilla. This thing did something. There was a couple of things, I gotta be honest, that I was kind of like, But the oh my gods, outweigh the ends by so much. And I'm gonna let one of y'all spoil it, but the biggest oh my god moment was the beam at the end. I was just like, oh, because you ain't never seen that shit before, and I loved it. I was like, that's great. Brother Chase, Godzilla versus Gigan Rex. Your take?
That was the greatest thing I saw last night. I, 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 I hope Toho hires him or hire whoever they are. I hope Toho hires them to work with them on their movies. Because if Godzilla does start to go more CGI centricated, which I feel that's where it's going, that was superbly done. Not only that, but the writing and just the way all of that was. I mean, Godzilla looked fantastic in that video. I mean, that was one. I didn't think there would be a Godzilla design that would be different that I would like, but that Godzilla design, as classic and updated as it was great. I mean, gosh, I thought that was. I can't. There's too much I got to say about it. I mean, that Godzilla was menacing. That Godzilla was just towering, and I mean, it was such a great Godzilla design, and I absolutely loved it. I fell in love with it, and I would love to see more from him. I would love to see more Godzilla stuff by Gemstone, and we'll see where it can go further. I mean, I would pay to see a Godzilla movie done that way by him, just by itself. I mean, just the music and stuff, and the cues of the music, and just the cinematography of that was so great. And there's nothing bad about it. There's nothing bad I can say. I love the homage to Junior. You know, there's a lot of people talking about it, saying like this was Junior and stuff, and I loved it. I thought that was great, and you know, I'm still going bonkers for it, just because the way it just looked was just so fantastic, and that ending was so emotional to me when they play Requiem, and gosh, getting emotional just thinking about it. Hearing that song again in a Godzilla thing, aside from King of the Monsters, when you hear it for that split second, actually hearing it and like Godzilla sacrificing himself to kill Gigan was just so emotionally powering. And then, of course, he doesn't really die at the end. But yeah, I thought that was fantastic. I would love to see more by him. And I hope to see Toho give him more shots to do more Godzilla stuff, because he did they did, I don't know if they're he or not, but they did a fantastic job.
I agree.
And I have so much to say about it.
I agree. Well, we'll get into it because we're gonna spend a little bit of time here, because there's a lot to dissect with this one. But JR, I want to hear your thoughts on this Godzilla versus Gigan Rex.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was talking to the guys past few weeks because we were seeing the teasers and stuff in Shinrob's channel, and none of us really cared for it. We were like, that's something. We didn't really like the design from what they were showing. I was like, it just looks like Heisei mixed with Shin, and I was going on a tirade of how I'm sick of seeing Shin Godzilla and everyone aping off his design and all this other Shin Godzilla shit. I was like, I'm fucking sick of it. And then I watched it this morning, and I do agree with you. I think the Gigans look goofy as shit. Like, even looking at pictures of them, their feet and heads are too small. Their bellies are way too, out there. And yeah. I'm just like, yeah, it's a little goofy for me. But this shit was pretty badass. Like, I can get over it because at the end of the day, they're just fucking cannon fodder to, and I'm gonna say this, um, he looked like what I would think Ghost Godzilla would look like at the end, with the white. It reminded me of Ghost Godzilla. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck are we really going there? Like, okay, yeah, Gigan Rex still looked goofy, but I liked the abilities. I thought they were pretty cool, and it was kind of like weird how like the saw bellies, like the saws came out to charge her up and stuff. But it was cool. It was, I don't know. It reminded me of like an anime, kind of like this isn't even my final form,
Yeah,
Goku.
I got that vibe.
That kind of reminded me of. No, I can't, like I said, I was not looking forward to it. So I watched the Godzilla vs. Gigan anniversary first. And was like, all right, let's watch this. And I was like, holy shit, that was pretty dope. I ended up really enjoying the design in the context of what they were doing in this short little film. And the CG was top notch too. Nothing but praise here from it's just weird to me because you see like these top-notch Godzilla things and they're not actually films.
Yeah, and then we get the trilogy.
Yeah.
And we're like,
but yeah, I think it was it was almost like the fucking highlight of it. Everything there was awesome. And again, the Ghost Godzilla at the end, because I don't care what anyone says, it looked like Ghost Godzilla. Like, especially what they were doing with the original design with the, like, tribal marks all over his body, and they were gonna do the white. I was like, yeah, no, fuck that. Finally. Now, if only we can get back in something, then we would be complete here.
I love that scene where the explosion's in the back and he turns and he's glowing white. Oh God, that was great.
Yeah.
Totally Ghost Godzilla. You can't change my mind on that shit, dude. It's so obvious.
I, like you, the Gigans didn't do it for me. I was just like, oh God, I don't like the design. But those were also during the, the little previews we were getting. In the context of this short, I dug it. One of the things I really liked was right off the bat in the beginning, the military fighting the Gigans. The Gigans handing them the business. But something I was like, oh, that's so cool. I wish we would see that in live action. That I dug. And again, it's not a make or break moment in the thing. It's just this cool little quirky thing. But when the tanks are coming and then the one Gigan just like puts its claw in it and skewers it and picks it up, I was like, oh my God, he just kebabbed that tank with his own fucking hand. I loved it. I don't know why. I thought it was as dope as shit because you don't see things like that, right? It's hard to get away with that in live action. But yeah, the Gigan's still a goofy. One of the things that kind of did turn me off though was when the saws popped out of their bellies. I was like, oh, easy, Shin Gigan. Like, what the hell is this? Like, that bothered. Like, I can't lie, that did bother me. But Godzilla himself, Gigan Rex was dope. Like, I really liked that Gigan Rex. I liked its abilities. I thought it was just, man, that was something else. And you really can't do that to any other monster now. Like think about it. Like, who would you do that with? Like, you done shot your load here. That really was the Shin version of Gigan. Right? Like, because it was just different. I can't see Ghidorah like that. I can't see anything else like that. I don't want to see a freaking Megalon Rex. No. Like, this was actually the perfect way to pull this off. And using Gigan as the vehicle. When all those Gigans converged on Godzilla and started, like, buzzsawing him, I was like, oh boy, you better pulse, motherfucker. You better pulse. And then that white light started. I said, oh, what? Oh my God. That white beam was, man, so majestic, bro. I was sitting here, I was like, that's the greatest beam Godzilla has ever produced. Ever. He literally was giving life. He was spitting sperm. That's disgusting. That's almost as like the moist and wet shit Chase was talking about a couple minutes ago. Oh my God. They killed Kenny. I'm sitting there screaming my brains out. I literally loved the white beam. I loved it. I want to see that in a live action movie. But don't shoot your load right off the bat, man. You save that shit towards the end. And by the end, I mean the end of your saga. Not the end of your movie. It was something to behold. We've never seen anything like that before. Never. Shin Godzilla had that multi-layer from smoke to napalm to the hottest purple beam, like in a straight single laser line. Singular Point Godzilla had the ultra beam, whatever you want to call it, but the circles coming around it, and it just made it seem so powerful. Fucking Godzilla Earth blows snot rockets. You know what I'm saying? Like, the spiral beam. Remember the first time we saw the spiral beam? We was like, oh shit, Godzilla shot red rays out of his mouth. Oh my God. We went nuts. And then the freaking Millennium series just was like, yeah, we'll just use that. That's his regular beam. No. That's a hyper-power beam, bro. Come on. This white beam? Ha! Jesus Christ. Keep it coming. It was glorious. And like y'all said, man, the way it just kind of emanated off of him. I loved it. And then the music, like Chase alluded to. You can't be playing a Requiem and not get Godzilla fans, in a certain state of mind. It was absolutely perfect. I loved it. 2 for 2 tonight. 2 for 2. That Toho knocked it out the park with their Godzilla and Gigan stuff, especially their Gigan stuff. I wish we would have had something like that for Hedorah last year. Like having both things. Because I did enjoy the Hedorah 50th. But like JR said, it's very hard to see the fight because they was always behind the building. It was rather simplistic. It was also the first time they done it. It was also the first time since, the pandemic was kind of going away where we can actually go out and play and do things. But this year, massive props to Toho and everybody involved in this Godzilla festival, Godzilla's 68th anniversary, Gigan's 50th. They put on a show for us, man. And regardless if you didn't like them shaking hands or whatever the case may be, everything that came out of this, the announcements, the Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex, the 50th Gigan anniversary video.
Dude,
this is great.
Figures.
The figures. And you know what's crazy? So I had passed out. And again, I'm sorry. I totally forgot to tell y'all in like Messenger, but y'all found it out because you're smart, that there was another thing starting at 9 o'clock. And before I passed out, I went to it, and it was the merchandise. And I was like, oh, nice. But I went back to the original one because I was like, they're going to show shit. And then I fell asleep. So I missed out on all the merchandise, and I should have been watching it this morning. I didn't. But I've seen some things, man.
Oh, that we're finally, because I hate Monster Arts now, but they knocked it out of the park with their 50th Hedra, and I was like, I wonder if they're gonna do they're doing a classic Gigan. And I spent $250 on the Hedra, and Gigan ain't gonna be that much because Hedra came with 3 figures in the box, so it should just be Gigan. But yeah, I'm hoping we actually get a fucking Godzilla to go with it someday.
Chase, you're muted, brother. Let's see. Brother Chase has been muted. We'll see if we can get him back. Oh, he just paid. Now he's back.
Got him back.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Nope, still muted, brother.
He is muted for you?
Well, I don't know if he's muted. I don't hear him. He's not coming out. His voice.
Oh, yeah, I was hearing him.
Really? What's going on?
Yeah.
Why is this happening?
I don't know.
Hang on, brother Chase. we don't hear him, unfortunately. He's gonna have to subtitle so I can read it for him. We are having technical difficulties. I'm gonna X him out. Do this. Oh God, I think I X'd myself out. I did.
No, you're still here.
Oh, I'm still here. All right. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, I don't know. All right.
I still don't hear Chase. I don't see none of y'all now. That's weird. Okay, now I see y'all.
I can hear you.
Brother Chase? No, I don't know why is that.
I can hear everyone. Just.
So I hear JR. Obviously, I hear myself. But I see Chase's mouth moving. But I don't hear him. He's not coming across. He is not.
Everything's falling apart.
This is the end. Why is this happening? Oh, what the hell? Let's see something. I'm gonna do this. Oh man, they are cracking up. They must be they're definitely making fun of me right now.
Taking the piss at you, so you can hear me though, right?
Oh, I totally hear you. I just don't see.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a little weird. I don't know. I don't know how to fix this. I'm tired.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix this either. Hey, Chase, hang up on us and then we'll invite you back in. Let's see if that works. Did he hang up?
No, he turned off his video. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay, now he hung up. Let's see.
No, I kicked him.
Oh, okay. Let's see. No, if we get him back.
All right.
Live streaming deleted.
Now I added him back.
All right, let's see.
Speak.
What the fuck? He's not coming. He's not coming.
Watch he accidentally muted you.
I didn't mute no one. I mean, like, why would I show chat? What the hell?
Chase is saying you back out and then rejoin. Try that.
All right, that may make sense. Let's see. Because technically, I'm still a part of this. So we're having technical difficulties here at the G Show. Don't worry about it. We're coming right back. I'm going to join these dudes again. Well. All right, let's see. Join video call. Let's find out.
Wait, he figured it out. He did.
Chase, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
We got Brother Chase back, people. So
What the shit?
I didn't jump. Listen, I didn't jump off the call while the live stream was still going on my end and make fun of you guys. Absolutely not.
I don't know you talked shit when you got off. Like fucking dickheads.
I was like, these fucking guys, they're not techs. But
JR, just one sec. Is your jacket the Godzilla jacket?
Yeah.
The fucking hoodie?
Yeah, I got the dorsal plates. I've had it since.
I've never seen one of those outside of just the picture of the merchandise. I haven't seen
Really?
someone like actually wear one.
I've had it since 2014. I wore it when I went to see 2014. I wore it when I went to see Shin Godzilla. I wore it when I saw Kong Skull Island. I couldn't fucking find it for King of the Monsters, and I wore it for Godzilla vs. Kong.
Dude, that is a great looking jacket. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I actually, when I got it, the tips of the dorsal plates were kind of like frayed, so I like painstakingly sewed them so they
Right on.
look better. Yeah, it's not a warm jacket, by the way. This thing sucks ass. It's fucking 30 degrees outside today, and I walked out there and I was like, why am I wearing this?
It doesn't give you the warmth of Godzilla.
Yeah, the things I do for this lizard, man.
Oh man. So all right, where the hell were we before we lost Brother
The
Chase for 8 minutes?
merchandising. We got Godzilla the lunchbox, Godzilla the flamethrower.
Merchandise, exactly.
That's right. What we were talking about the merchandise. What I was saying is there's some stuff that also just got added to Messenger of some merchandising, like Super Seven's doing more. Haya Toys is doing a whole King of the Monsters line, and
So they're doing King Ghidorah and
yeah, they're saying they're going to do Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra.
ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, Haya Toys.
I love how y'all keep calling him Ghidorah when in the movie he explicitly says gonorrhea.
Gonorrhea.
We're getting a shit monster,
Gotcha.
people. A dirty shit monster. We're getting a fucking. Let me stop. See, that again, that's one of the reasons why I can't stand that movie. It's like, you take that out and it's
stupid.
It's so
Stupid
bad. It's like,
fucking line.
yo, because it's an insult to Godzilla fans. You're like, what?
Well, it's like, who thought that was funny?
Your
wanna
man
know
Michael
the guys-
Dougherty.
I want to know their reactions to the guys in the room where it's like, I got it, guys. Let's make a joke. Let's call him King Gonorrhea. And everyone just slaps their knees and was like, ah. It's like, dude, who thought that was funny?
The execs that wanted it to have Marvel humor.
That's not Marvel humor. That's Michael
It's
Bay
not,
humor.
no.
It's Michael Bay
That's
Transformers.
the problem with that fucking line, is it
That is
tries
like-
to be it, but it's not.
No, that's
That is like below toilet humor.
it's
That is like.
listen, as a
We've had fart jokes in movies that are better than that joke.
as a Transformers fan, growing up as a kid from the growing up in the 80s, when the Transformers movie was coming out, the live action movie, forget it. Me and all my people, we were nuts. And then we saw the movie, and we were like, what the fuck? And it was because the bad jokes. Like, why are you ruining something so sacred to many of us with fucking pissant jokes? The problem, though, was those movies started making $1 billion at the box office. And then we're like, oh my God. So, yeah, those movies suck.
Is JR still here?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, because your screen totally went blank, and I'm like, did we lose you
No.
now?
No, he's still here.
No.
Sorry, cut you off. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, thanks for cutting me
No.
off during like a very important point I was making.
I know, right?
What the fuck? But that's my point. It's like, all of a sudden, Transformer movies are making $1 billion. So let's try to make not that Godzilla was going to make $1 billion, but let's try to get close to that. And let's not front. It could. The legendary movies could potentially make $1 billion with no problem. And that's what really grinds my gears, is that they could make $1 billion. They need to find the perfect balance between 2014, even some of Kong Skull Island, and then Godzilla vs. Kong. And again, King of the Monsters has some great fucking sequences. It really did. And that was really 2014-esque. But the plot was not there.
In my opinion, it's going to sound funny, and maybe, I don't know how people will take this, but almost in a way, they need to be professional with it.
That's a great.
And as much as Godzilla movies are what they are, when you do writing like that, you're just making it kind of, you're kind of insulting what you're doing when you do that. When you make a gonorrhea joke, when you do, jokes that are just so poor, you're kind of insulting your film, in my opinion. And, I think that's not the way to go about it at all.
No, I agree with that. That's a great point. Be professional about it. That's the thing that killed me, because when you think about when Legendary's producers went about hiring directors, the process for 2014, why did they settle on Gareth Edwards? Why?
Because of his scale to monsters.
Right. He made one movie that was called Monsters. It was just a different take. And honestly, his his take of Godzilla, the idea of like, we're gonna make a Jaws movie, but with Godzilla. It worked in my opinion. And worked even more because again, at the end, you get classic Godzilla vibes. 2014 came out and we had no idea that there was gonna be Mutos, right? Then we saw that other trailer where there was a fucking other thing in the movie. And we're like, whoa, we thought it was Rodan, everybody was going nuts. The movie wasn't going to be just about Godzilla tearing shit up. This was different. And then I saw the movie and I'm like, oh God, this was such a freaking homage to the OG Godzilla movies, the Showa series. 2014's Godzilla legit is a homage to the Showa series. More than anything else. Godzilla is a hero in that movie. Godzilla is a hero. And I loved it. That's why 2019, there was a point I was getting to, I swear to God, but they found some serious, they took it serious. Like you said, Chase. They did it professionally. They took it serious, they did it professionally. You can go camp. You can go camp and still make a legitimate movie. You can do it. And 2019, King of the Monsters could have been that movie. Take the jokes out. Take the jokes out. Take them out. That gonorrhea joke, that's not funny. It's not funny. For a Godzilla fan, and if you think it's funny and you think you're a Godzilla fan, think again. Because it's not funny. You're throwing away 50 plus years of history over a fucking sexually transmitted disease joke. That's not funny.
Isn't it great?
Get out this podcast.
What Hollywood needs to understand is they still have to bring the fun of Godzilla, but if they want to take it to a new level of continuation and put their own staple on it, they can't bring this, we're going to bring mediocre humor jokes and stuff, you know, and, you know, it's like there was no point, or it was not even necessary to make that joke at all in King of the Monsters. It was so distasteful. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, I still scratch my head. I can go and watch King of the Monsters any time of the day, and I'll watch it and enjoy it. But once that gonorrhea joke is made, I'm just like, you just ruined the movie with that joke. And then I have to, like, ignore it and just get past it. I mute that scene now when it comes on because I don't want to hear it.
Hold up, I'm looking at JL. JL was laughing over there. I need to know, what the hell are you laughing at?
Oh, I'm just laughing. It's such a stupid fucking joke, dude.
No, it's not. No, it's not. See, that's the problem. Dude, come on. You know better. You know better. It's not.
No, I said it was stupid. It's dumb.
It's like, it doesn't even rhyme with Ghidorah.
But what I'm saying is the way you said it, JL, I was like, oh, get over it. It's just a joke. It's
No. I was saying it's so dumb. Like the joke. It's fucking like again, who woke up and was like, gonorrhea, that's it.
Exactly. Writing down, all right, how we need to add some comedy to this. I know, sexual transmitted diseases are hilarious.
You know, it's messed up too. It's like you have a situation that's extremely dire, right?
Exactly.
And let me go ahead and make this joke. You're not breaking any ice, bro. That's the stupid. And what kills me is he's trying to show, oh God, what's his name? Fucking, oh God, the main character, Chase's favorite guy.
Mark Russell?
Yes. He's trying to show Mark Russell that he is here for a particular reason. Like, the reason why he's working with Monarch and he's in this position is because the dude is fucking smart when it comes to the Titans. It's because this dude knows his shit because he ain't no fucking slouch. Then he goes and makes a fucking joke that doesn't make no damn sense in the context of anything. It's for nobody. It really isn't for nobody.
I fixed this scene. Are you ready? So they're talking, and then he makes the gonorrhea joke.
I regret this already. I regret it already.
Hold on. Exterior shot, you see him getting tossed out of the Argo.
I love it.
That guy gets tossed out for that.
And did you guys know? Did you guys know that actor? He actually is in Kong Skull Island when Brie Larson's in her room in the beginning doing her photos and like developing them. The phone call, the guy telling her that she got the gig. That's him. Not as that character, but the actor that plays him is talking to her on the phone in that scene.
Obviously, it's not the same character because that character wouldn't even have been born yet. No, I could see it though. Throw him out the Argo, and it looks like Steven Seagal in that. I forgot what movie it was where he died like 10 minutes in. He was like, "What the fuck?" When he's in the stealth bomber. Oh my god! With Broken Arrow.
So I wanted to ask you guys, because when we're done with the podcast, I'm cooking dinner and it's Godzilla movies. What Godzilla movies are you guys going to be watching today? I'm curious.
Brother Chase, you got anything on your menu today after your things are done and taken care of?
Oh gosh. I'm torn either between Biollante or Godzilla versus Kong. Or I might watch Battle for Earth. I might watch Battle for Earth just because I've been wanting to. It's on my brain, so I might do that.
I just finished watching Return of Godzilla because that's my birthday staple. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't gonna watch no Godzilla movie tonight. If I'm gonna watch anything Godzilla, it's going to be Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex again, the 50th anniversary of Gigan, and just clips off of YouTube. You know, I'm just gonna go and do that because I'm not dedicated right now to watching another Godzilla movie. I have a marathon coming up.
Yeah,
And
that's
there's only like maybe 2 or 3 movies that I can watch at any time throughout the year. That it doesn't matter where it is. Let's say if I watch it, like for instance, Godzilla 1984. And let's say my marathon is next week. Oh, I'll totally get to Godzilla 1984 and watch it again with no problem. But, true story, if I had to watch anything, if I was going to, like Chase said, Battle of Earth is on his mind. Shin Godzilla's kind of been tickling the back of my brain. Only because I want to watch it again. And, because I've seen it twice. I watched it the first time. The first time I watched it last year, where I got that idea of, this isn't a remake of the original 54. This is a remake of 98. The way it was supposed to be done, but it's not, because it's not Godzilla. And then when I watched it again during my marathon, I was like, oh my god, yeah, this is now I can absolutely say this. I've been wanting to go back to that just to enjoy it now. Like, legitimately enjoy it. Because, man, if you watch that movie, if you hated that movie, but you watch it as like a remake to 98, and you hated 98, listen, it is not a Godzilla movie. 1998 is a remake, not of the 54 Godzilla, but of the Beast of 20,000 Fathoms. It really is. And when you watch Shin Godzilla, it may look like a Godzilla or a zombified version of it. That shit ain't Godzilla. Ain't nothing. Nope. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It is something that wants to be a Godzilla. That's what Zilla was in 98. That's why it's the greatest remake of all time. It really is the greatest remake of all time. Not Peter Jackson's King Kong. You can boof that shit. Shin Godzilla is the greatest remake of all time of Godzilla 1998. I love that movie. In regards, when I think about it like that, I don't care. People are gonna hate me. I don't care. I don't care. You ask yourself one thing: am I lying? Go ahead, watch it for yourself, and you'll see for yourself. That shit ain't Godzilla. Just like 98 ain't Godzilla. It's right there.
So
It's right there.
I'm gonna watch Godzilla vs. Gigan, Invasion of Astro Monster, and Son of Godzilla.
Oh.
I know. I love Son of Godzilla, man. It's in my top 10. I love that fucking movie.
It's a fun movie. It's just the ugliest Godzilla suit ever made. That's all.
You don't say Godzilla's Revenge.
No. That used to be my favorite when I was a kid.
So when I did my marathon last year, Godzilla's Revenge, I finally watched the original Japanese version. That movie's fucked up. that movie's not right, man. Holy shit. Like Chase said before, certain things you remember it when you're a kid that when you're an adult all of a sudden rings different. And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. That movie hit me like, whoa, wait a minute. These dudes were trying to kill a child. For what?
Yeah.
For what? Because they were bank robbers and he might have stumbled upon their thing? He wasn't trying to take their cash. These dudes were trying to kill a kid. This is why I love the Japanese. Because they like, we don't give a fuck. Yeah, he's trying to kill a kid. Why don't you do that, America? This is why anime is so crazy in Japan and it's been for 50 fucking years. And we get shit, like, we got to get a movie to see Transformers get killed. That shit's not on regular TV. But in Japan, yeah, no. Oh, this is your favorite character? They died. Episode 5. They're dead. What?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I give props to them over there because they ain't sheltered over there.
They're not sheltered. Yeah, I swear. But see, and at the same time, when I look at it, like, that movie was made back, what, in the 60s? The mid to late 60s? Godzilla's Revenge? Because it happened before Destroy All Monsters. Because Destroy All Monsters was supposed to be the end of everything. Or did Revenge come out after Destroy All Monsters?
Revenge is 69. Destroy All Monsters is 68.
There it is. Okay, so Revenge was the end of the original Showa series, right? It was a tie-up. It was the wrap. That was it. But then we got Hedorah, we got Gigan, we got Megalon, we got 2 Mecha Godzillas. And then we got the greatest one of all time. Return of Godzilla. But yeah, listen. If I was going to watch any Godzilla movie now that I think about it, I'd probably watch Godzilla's Revenge because it is also the shortest one. It runs like, I think it's like 64, 65 minutes long. It's only like an hour.
It's nothing.
Yeah. I'll sit there, I'll watch it. It's like watching commercials on YouTube now. Oh yeah, that's fast. I'll watch it.
Oh, shit.
My question for you guys. What is your favorite, as of right now, your favorite Godzilla scene?
Why you gotta do this to me?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Do you have a scene that just constantly sticks in your head that you're like, yes, that is my favorite scene?
Yeah.
It could even change. Like, you could say right now, what's your favorite scene, opposed to what it was a year ago or what it might be next year.
It's like fluid.
Godzilla bursting out of the ice to fight King Ghidorah in Antarctica. The way that fucking shit was shot, dude.
It's a good scene.
So, yeah, the scene, like, you know, the music's swelling, he bursts out of the ice, foot comes down, it pans up, you know, his back's pulsating, Ghidorah's squaring up to Godzilla, and they're both squaring up. Then they roar and charge at each other. That shit's like to me, one of the best scenes of Godzilla because it just shows, especially in the size difference, like, this motherfucker don't back down. He showed up to square down with this giant ass 3-headed alien snake creature. Yeah, I know.
Well, if you making that face, Ray, what's yours?
I just don't
like your scene's any better. Gosh.
No, I don't. No, it's just I don't understand. You 68 fucking years of Godzilla, and you pick that?
Because it's the cinematography, the music, the lighting.
Stop!
It's just how it was played out for me.
Oh my god.
I mean, right next to it is the goddamn airport scene from 2014.
What?
It all just builds up to this goddamn reveal, and you're like, you just feel it. You're like, fuck, here he is.
It's funny because when the foot comes down in the Antarctica scene, that's a call back to the airport scene.
Yeah. But what's nice about that scene, too, in King of the Monsters, is you hear when he stomps down the ice cracking. And it echoes.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's
crazy?
crazy?
Shit go for miles.
You know what's crazy? Because then, not only that, but they continue that because when Godzilla puts his foot down on Kong, you can hear his ribs cracking.
Yeah.
That's why that movie's so fucking good. Because Godzilla beat that motherfucker up. I hate that mother. I don't hate Kong. I do love him.
So my favorite scene, since Ray is still trying to think about it.
I know my favorite scene is just not a scene. It's a sequence.
Okay. Well, that works just as well. But I think, for me, Godzilla popping out of Mount Mahara. But, however,
that's good.
I will say in King of the Monsters, when Godzilla shoots Ghidorah and then the military follow and everything, that scene is hard to say it's not my favorite too.
That's just the music getting you all riled up. That's all that is. You take that scene without the music and you're like, oh, it's just a regular scene. It's the music. I get you, because that's a dope scene. But it's the music that makes that scene.
It's also his roar.
Nah,
it's his roar.
It's the music. You hear that Bear McCreary with the get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. You stick that shit with Kratos, motherfucker.
Let's get your sequence and I'll talk shit about it too.
You can, because I'm gonna
talk your opinion, so I can bring your opinion down, buddy.
I'm gonna talk shit about it myself. It's a stupid thing. It's not even a scene. It's not even a scene. It's a sound. It's a sound. When I walk, I hear Godzilla stomping. That's what I hear. I hear Godzilla stomping. Whenever, and then sometimes I'll slow down on purpose. Because in my head, I'm listening to Godzilla stomp. So, like, Biollante, 85, 84, Return of Godzilla, whatever the case may be, King Ghidorah, like, that sound, his footsteps. That's my favorite. Because when I walk, in my head, I'm Godzilla. I got to go to work, and I don't want to be at work. You got to be at work. Godzilla up. Let's go. And then I walk from my car to the damn door, and I'm in my head. I hear the footsteps. You're gonna go to town today. Just go take care of the business. That's what Godzilla would do. So that's my favorite. It's not a scene, but it's a mentality.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure
that's a great thing that you say, because the whole entire time I was watching the Gigan Rex thing, and I've been saying this for years. The one thing I love about Godzilla is he does not give up, and that is a great mentality that I love about him.
And that's the thing, man. I think everybody who's watched the Godzilla movie, who's enjoyed a Godzilla movie, who's just a series, whatever the case may be, at one point in time or another, they decided to put their hands up to their sides and walk like they were Godzilla. I believe that. I do it all the time. Shit, back in New York when it snowed, that was the best part in the world. Because when the snowbanks would when the wind would blow and then the snowbanks would make like these frosted cities, if you will, right? Like it's crazy. JR knows what I'm talking about. He lives in Iowa. Like, dude, I know you get snow. I know the snow makes these things where, and all of a sudden in your head, you look at these little snowbanks, these little hills, and you're like, oh, that's a city. And then you just walk right through it. With his Godzilla feet, ladies and gentlemen, I am so, he's got Godzilla slippers. This motherfucker, oh my God.
For years, and that's what I do around the house when I get super bored. I'll walk like Godzilla with these, because you kind of fucking have to.
Chase after the cat, too.
You're right.
I mean, honestly, that's...
When I was a kid, I played Godzilla Destroy All Monsters so much and Godzilla Save the Earth so much that my ADD, if I was in class, all of a sudden I would hear the monsters roar. And it would be a different roar every other time. And it would literally get me to shoot up from my desk and look around. And yeah, it was incredible.
Shit, see, I didn't have none of that.
Sometimes when I drive, if I'm like stuck in traffic or driving somewhere, I'll just imagine like all of a sudden Godzilla and giant monsters fighting.
I didn't have none of that when I was younger. Because again, those video games weren't a thing yet. But when I was younger, what I used to do, especially in the winter, like I said, you see a certain snowbank, it looks like a city. It's on the curb because the sanitation had plowed the fucking street. So now you got all this mountains of, bulked up snow, and they look like cities. And I put my arms up, and I just walk like Godzilla. And then because it's so cold, the vapor from my breath, well, you know where that's going, right? So I'd be like,
yeah.
And my mother was like, stop being Godzilla. I'm like, Mom, what do you mean? I'm the only son of Godzilla. And again, that's just, as a kid that didn't grow up, with like the video games, the legit video games. And that's not taking nothing away from Nintendo, because I played the Nintendo Godzilla game when I was a kid. It sucked. It was hard. But that's where I found out who Farron was. I found out who Ghidorah was. Moguera. I was like, what the fuck? What is this? This was pre-internet. I had no idea. These movies weren't coming on TV. I knew who Mothra was. I knew Mechagodzilla. I knew King Ghidorah. But all these other dudes, who the fuck are they? And it was just glorious, where you were able to experience in a different era things that I didn't get to experience, things that I found out and loved, and yet here we are. We're still at this point in time now as adults. We're still finding out more and more. We're just finding out in real time. For instance, the new Godzilla movie coming next year, Godzilla vs. Kong 2, whenever the fuck that's dropping. We are living in a wonderland of Godzilla. We really are. But if I had to pick any goddamn scene in any goddamn Godzilla movie, I'm going to tell you right now which one it is. There's two. The first one, Godzilla waking up in Godzilla 1985, 84, 85, whatever you want to call it, after the American and Russian missiles collide and create the storm that awakens Godzilla. And Godzilla seeing the Super X. And I was like, yep, time to get busy. And going after the Super X. But what it is, it's not even Godzilla. It is the Super X throwing everything it has at Godzilla. And Godzilla just keeps coming. And he's like, you can't fucking stop me. There's a hole in the side of its head. That's when the regeneration thing was a thing. I was like, oh my God. Oh, he had a hole in his head, but now it's gone because he regenerated, because he got this nuclear thing, because Godzilla's a giant dinosaur. He's an X-Men. He's motherfucking X-Men. He is the X-Men. Fuck Professor X. It's Godzilla, right? That's probably number one. And then number two is like, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of them. The Heisei series. I mean, like, whenever Godzilla had to throw that spiral breath, like, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Godzilla versus Super X. That's the greatest Godzilla moment for me of all time. Round two. Wow, everybody.
Oh, Jesus.
What? Jesus, what? That's the best. What are you talking about?
No, it's awesome. I'm just saying.
It's crazy,
It's
man.
been nice.
That
I'm
or,
buzzed.
you know what? Ooh. You know what was great too? The first time you seen a Pulse. The Pulse was something, man. Let's not front, man. That's the first time we seen a new Godzilla fucking offense. Like,
Which another thing I loved in the Gigan Rex video.
yes! Yo, I loved it. Seeing the Pulse for the first time. But to me, the Pulse was dope in Biollante, but to me, the Pulse was the best in King Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Him getting choked out, and then all
He
of a
was
sudden...
being strangled to the point where his radiation couldn't go anywhere, and it just combusted inside of him and just...
Sent King Ghidorah flying backwards, sounding like R2-D2 in Return of the Jedi. Listen very close, because you hear R2-D2. And it was dope. And it was fucking dope. But... holy smokes. But listen, fellas, oh my God, we're 2 hours and 20 minutes into this live stream, man. I think we done hit everything we needed to hit. Last thoughts before we wrap this up at the 2:30 mark. We saw a bagging suit. Do you think Baggin is going to make an appearance at all within the Toho monster movies within the next 5 years? Brother Chase.
Honestly, no. The reason being, for me, is because when I read about Bagon, Destroya took the place of Bagon.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we'll see Bagon ever in a Godzilla movie. But with me saying stuff like that, sometimes I'm wrong, so maybe we will. But I personally don't think so.
Okay, same question. Brother JR.
Yeah, he's gonna be the main antagonist in Godzilla vs. Kong 2.
Listen.
Wouldn't that just be the treat?
Hey, listen. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, man. You know I love me some
Talk
Godzilla
about
versus... Listen, I love me some Godzilla versus Kong, but you gonna do that? I'm gonna love me some Godzilla versus Kong too. Oh man. Damn, you fucked me up with that one. We kind of talked about that in previous podcast. Could you imagine? Well, Toho put out a picture. I mean, like, not a picture. They didn't put out a picture. Let me rephrase that. During the Godzilla festivities, there was a bagging suit, and if I'm not mistaken, there was somebody in there. And it looked fantastic. It looked like something you can film and it be like Destroyer, absolutely horrifying to look at. So I'm with it. I am with it. Watch them do some stupid shit and make Mothra versus Baggin.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, we don't need any more fairies singing.
No!
Oh, God. Listen, Toho, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Bring back Grand King Ghidorah. Just don't make Mothra fight Baggin. If you're going to bring back King Ghidorah in any fucking way, sense, or form, I don't care what nobody says. Grand King Ghidorah is my favorite look. I love that look. Just don't make Mothra kill Baggin. That would be fun. Oh, man. But anyhow, listen, fellas. I think we're done. That's a good stream. It's a good stream. I want to thank both of y'all for joining us today for Godzilla's 68th anniversary, Gigan's 50th. We had a good time, man. Godzilla's got a new movie coming out next year. I mean, yeah. JR, thank you for joining us.
I had nothing else to do.
Did you just burp? Was it burp?
I was trying to do a goat, but I gave up like when it came out.
It's terrible. Chase, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. I look forward to these. I'm excited that Toho has reinforced Godzilla's future for at least a little while, and I'm excited to see what's to come. And I'm sure they got a lot of other stuff hidden away too. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Happy 68th birthday, Godzilla.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Happy 68th. I want to thank everybody out there for watching, listening, whatever the case may be. Listen, there's going to be a lot of Godzilla stuff coming up, and that's not even hyperbole. It's legit. Toho announced the new movie coming out in 1 year. So, with that, and the MonsterVerse show, and Godzilla vs. Kong 2, and a potential for Singular Point Season 2, there is going to be a ton of Godzilla news going on from the rest of 2022 all into 2023, and we shall be here to deliver it to you. That being said, I am G1. This is the Godzilla Block Party. Happy 68th birthday, Godzilla. I love you forever and ever and ever, and we are out of here. Peace.
Wow.
Yeah.